Okay, hi. Today I am responding to a Cosmic Queries video talking about how many black holes are in our galaxy. Have you seen the amount of empty space that's around the galaxy? How much more stuff could have been existing and then just turned into black holes? That's my question. The amount of empty space means that stuff existed and it got collapsed into stars, and those turned into black holes. Other stars existed out of all the gas that remained, and so there was a question on Star Talk where they talked about how many black holes are in our galaxy. Well, the other thing that is very interesting is that you can have a black hole that is small, very small, the size of whatever you want, and it's incredibly dense and it's incredibly small, and or whatever. And so we got this idea of the big galaxy-sized center of the thing, black hole, which is obvious. It all makes sense that we would always be aware of those, but we're also negating the idea of there's even bigger ones, like our gigantic black hole is not that big compared to actual other, like so many other black holes that are out there. So you have that, and you also have other things. Like you could have these tiny black holes. They're so small. What makes them and how everything else and whatever else, I don't know off the top of my head, but I can tell you that since they do exist, that's something that Star Talk forgot about, and I'm going to just harp on them, as I always do. However, there's this other thing they talked about. It's very important you understand this. There is a facility designed specifically to understand all the stuff that is about science, and it's like the Mensa. It's like NASA. It's like the think tank of all things like crazy theories and stuff, and they don't know how electrons work. The instant that we are asked this question and the cost and any amount of brain power is able to put into it, someone has an answer, because they asked the question, isn't space just empty space? Space has never been considered empty for literally over 100 years. The idea and the concept of space being empty is absolutely ludicrous in the light of all that we know. Because first of all, we know about the cosmic microwave background energy. It's just there, and it's the frequency that stuff and everything is happening with. But we also understand, apparently, we can use the forces of gravity and a gravitational sensor array to then tune out different things like a car or a person walking by or some hill that has a little bit of rain on it, apparently. So we have sensors that are powerful enough. You put those into the hands of technology and whatever else, like you can have a sensor system without eyes that can just know everything that's happening on the planet. We're talking about Magneto here. We're talking about Charles Xavier here, but it's Magneto. I don't know how to explain that any better. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of crazy. So you hear you understand. We're talking about the people who are supposed to be the biggest geniuses of all time, and they don't know that space is not empty, that there is electromagnetic field. But everyone who I talk to, everyone who I listen to, they all say and they all think, apparently, so many of them are saying space, like the electromagnetic field out in space, is not big enough to do anything. Even though it's way more powerful than gravity, and we can feel that and sense that to the point where we can detect the amount of moisture in a mound of dirt. That's a thing that they have said that we can do now. I'm sorry, what? You know electromagnetic field is everywhere. The electrons aren't producing the electromagnetic field, they are manipulating it. You're in a soup. The thinnest, tiniest stuff that you ever want to think of is the electromagnetic field. The same energy that is flowing between an electron and the atom to bind it together, that energy is everywhere. Right? It is also what mass is, literally the repulsive energy of electrons moving electromagnetic fields, and we end up pushing on each other. Mass is the force that the material is able to exert on everything else. It has nothing to do with the stuff and everything to do with the energy that it is manipulating. You could lose a lot of weight if you just stop manipulating energy so much. Where the hell do I put my phone? So when I hear people say things like the energy that we have, the electromagnetic energy that's responsible for stuff like lightning and the field of energy around our planet, and they say it's not enough, and that